Welcome back to the CONVO couch, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella. See, that's because you talk too much.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. What do Haiti, Venezuela, Honduras, and Brazil all have in common?
They are all part of the countries we invade, install our own puppets, and start coups, which then lead to mass migrations.
Yes.
And what we know as regime change wars.
Yes, we do. And it's it's a serious problem. And we know the non-interventionist president, Donald Trump, who is not a non-interventionist, even though he campaigned one, wants his own war in Venezuela. But I have to sneeze.
Oh. Did it go away? It's weird. I hate that.
It's like,
it
pause.
comes and goes.
It's stuck right there.
It's kind of like the Democratic Party.
Yeah, it is. It's like you got to sneeze, but it never comes, and nothing ever comes out.
And they promise you.
Yeah, they promise you're going to sneeze, but you don't sneeze. And we've talked about on this show, back on subject, about, and especially yourself, you've gone down to the border a ton of times, about why 80% or around 80%, 75%, whatever, but a high amount of people are coming in these caravans specifically from Honduras, correct?
Correct.
We talked about that in 2009 under the Barack Obama administration. The Madam Secretary, Hillary Clinton, supported a coup in which they removed the socialist democratically elected leader, Manuel Zelaya. We got a picture of him. He got that cowboy hat on. Look at him. we got to put that cowboy hat up. There he is. He was elected, but then he was ousted. Okay, and this is a person who wanted to have social change there. He wanted to take back some of the land and give it to the indigenous people of Honduras.
Oh, yes.
But he was stopped in his tracks, so we can support a regime that has now turned the place into chaos, which has forced a lot of women and children to come to the United States. That's where these caravans are coming from, right?
Yep.
And not only did there's more, because not only did Trump support the last elections, which were, once again, Fugazi elections in which the opposition, they cheated, and you can see U.S. backs re-election of Honduran president despite vote controversy. We also have been arming them to the T. I mean, we got to have our corporate interests, right, fam?
Of course.
So goes United States regime policy, as we know. And we know Donald Trump is not a non-interventionist. And come to today, we have our boy, Juan Guaido, who is backed by the United States. Donald Trump wants his own regime change war. And Venezuela has been the target of some serious sanctions. Now, fam, a lot of people don't know about sanctions. Can you unpack sanctions? Because we understand that some sanctions really hurt the everyday people. They don't hurt the elitists, correct?
You're right. So first of all, if the United States actually wanted to help Venezuelans and cared about the people in Venezuela, we would have lifted the embargo, we would have given back the gold we stole, and then we would have stopped attempting coups. But according to an analysis from VenezuelaAnalysis.com, the Trump economic sanctions have so far cost Venezuela about $6 billion since August 2017. And that's still like backdated. It's probably more now already. So there was an analysis by a political analyst named Joe Emmersberger, written in response to an article by Torino Capital chief economist Francisco Rodriguez. Trump's economic sanctions have cost Venezuela $6 billion, and Rodriguez is well-known as an outspoken critic of the Maduro government, but even he recognizes that Washington's misguided sanctions are actually exacerbating and failing all production in Venezuela, and as such, affecting the general standard of living, which is why the people are suffering under that.
The everyday people, fam. I want to make a point, because a lot of people think that sanctions are just like a small tool we use. No, it's a very harming tool we use, and we're actually almost like locking up and stealing Maduro and the Venezuelans people's money all around the world with these sanctions.
Exactly. They should be a rich country. They have so much oil.
Yes.
But this is what he was talking about, and I'm going to go ahead and quote him, and we have his quotes. The resulting loss of access to credit appears to have helped precipitate the collapse in oil output, driving the resulting economic contraction or crisis. Our point is that the spilling over of this political crisis into the arena of finance had consequences for the country's economy and for the living standard of all Venezuelans.
Yes.
Okay, and so we have this chart right here depicting how that was just like Colombia, but then there was a point where we had we see the true fall during the 2016 and most of 2017. And then once Trump came in August, the sanctions came into force. You see that decline in the production was driven by the price of oil hitting its lowest point in about a decade at the start of 2016. But once Trump came in there, it was illegal for Venezuelans and the government to obtain financing from the U.S., which was devastating for two reasons. One, all the Venezuelan government's outstanding foreign currency bonds are governed under New York state law. And one of the Venezuelan government's major assets, the state-owned Citgo Corporation, is based in Texas. So the sanctions also blocked Citgo from sending profits and dividends back to Venezuela, which had been averaging about $1 billion since 2015. And so the next table just shows you pretty much the difference of what happened. It would have continued pretty much at the same rate as in the 12 months before, but once the sanctions came in, what happened was a 13% decline in production, followed by a 5% decline in 2018. So then you see the 11% decline came into 37%, and then ultimately led to $6 billion in a 12-month period, which is what it's cost them so far.
Yeah.
So we are directly responsible for
we
this.
are. And I would like to state, too, not just Trump coming in. And this was a very well thought out planned thing with Guaido and the sanctions all at one time. They're trying to put a stranglehold on Maduro, weaken him, and take the country over themselves because Guaido wants to give up the oil reserves to corporate interest. What Maduro wants to do is more of what Chavez did, and that's keep the oil, nationalize the oil,
right,
use the profits, the riches for themselves. They understand what's going on, and that's why that big sign up the other day where Maduro brought everybody to Caracas and had everybody sign this piece of paper that said they don't want America to intervene and to let the American government know that they're not going to just take this hands down. And it can be crazy in Venezuela. And also, too, I'd like to also point out that before Donald Trump came in, we were already funding the opposition under the Obama administration for many years. And before that, with Bush, we've been after that oil for a long, long time.
With Chavez.
And I think it was just that Donald Trump saw this particular invasion or coup or war or whatever you want to call it as a financial chance to gain a lot of money too as well.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly. And so you say there's more.
Yes, there is more because it gets better, fam. Especially, when it comes to either ousting progressive leaders or trying to do that, Maduro, successfully doing it to Manuel Zelaya. We've done it before, and we have a very serious situation. And I've talked about it before. I said Maduro is the most popular politician in that country right now. Popular enough where he won a fair election. Okay, he does have his adversaries and whatnot, but he rightfully won. Now, you want to talk about in the case of Brazil, a social leader, a man by the name of Lula da Silva, has been jailed, and he's been jailed without a lot of hard evidence against him. I mean, it's been working through the DOJ in America, through Brazil, through their courts, to put this man in jail. And I'm talking about, like I said, he's in line to get a Nobel Peace Prize. And his overall approving rating is beyond what Maduro's is, beyond what almost any South American or North American or Central American leader is. Lula is beloved, and they would have voted for him in this last election. And why they did this sentence is so they can keep him in jail even longer for the next election. And before Fam gives her opinion on this, can you show some of Lula's quotes? Because I know you're going to love this, Fam. This guy is just amazing. Lula da Silva, and he puts down, the true path to peace is shared development. If we do not want war to go global, justice must be global, fam.
Wow.
I mean, he has another one. Hunger is actually the worst weapon of mass destruction. It claims millions of victims each year, and that's by Lula da Silva. And fam, we just can't have a socialist leader out there running a country because...
Instead, they have Bolsonaro.
Yeah.
Which is literally the complete opposite.
Have you seen any of the Democrats stand up for this shit? I mean, this has happened. This is our DOJ working our influence within the courts of Brazil to jail a man without any serious hard evidence. I mean, they haven't even proved that he lived or owned those houses and those addresses, which they got him on corruption charges. And like I said, when they did a poll, Bolsonaro, who won the election, he got 16% of the votes when they did that poll. Lula was polling at 38% almost.
Wow. So
you can see, but they kept him in prison. Now they just added this another sentence on so they can keep him in jail for the next election. But fam, it doesn't stop there. We can't just stop with Honduras. We can't stop with Venezuela. We can't stop with Brazil, because it goes even further, because Haiti has become the newest hotspot for civil unrest tied to American invention. And it all starts back with the Petrocaribe, which is pretty much petroleum Caribbean. And it's what Hugo Chavez gave to his brothers and sisters in the Caribbean area, as well as South and Central America, where he would give them oil, the Petrocaribe, on a low priced level. And he only required them to pay 60% up front for that oil. He shared it with the Caribbean nations. And he felt like Haiti was one of those areas where he pointed out, because Haiti was one of the first revolutionary spots where Latin America really took ground. And he said the Venezuelan people owe a debt to the Haitians for what they did in leading in these movements. So he put up a fund, a Petrocaribe fund, where 40% of the assets of the money that was controlled there were able to be used periodically by the Haitians to fund any social products, whether it be schools, hospitals, roads, anything whatsoever. And Rennie Prevel in 2006 was elected the president again for a second term, and he signed in the Petrocaribe. Now, we know from the WikiLeaks documents that the United States was set against this. They didn't want anybody doing any business with Venezuela, and we've been trying to control Haiti for some time. And I have a personal connection. We all do, because we lived in Florida. I lived in South Florida. In fact, when I see it to my customers at the restaurant, I'm like, Madame and Monsieur. And they're like, oh, you're speaking French. I'm like, no, I'm speaking Creole. Because I started in the restaurants in Florida, and I had a lot of Haitian friends that worked there. But after the earthquake in 2010, they wanted to punish Rennie Preval and also get their own guy in. So after the earthquake, once again, fam, Fugazi elections, they get their guy in there. And that guy has been taking out and ciphering funds from the Petrocaribe for years. The new government that come in has been doing the same thing. And a lot of money went through the Clinton Foundation. What's that?
I was just going to ask you, who did that?
A lot of it goes through the Clinton Foundation, because Barack Obama put Bill Clinton in charge of Haiti after the earthquake, and they really went to town there, fam, the Clinton Foundation. They screwed up, as told by Hillary Clinton's emails. WikiLeaks, thank you again.
Thank you.
They're, once again, a pay-for-play scam. And the thing that really sucks about this pay-for-play scam, fam, is that they got the bids because Bill Clinton and the Clinton Foundation said only people connected to his foundation get the bids for all this work that needs to be done. We're talking billions of dollars, fam. They took the money because they were the only bids, and they didn't even do the work. They just bolted. So right now, we have some serious civil unrest. And, fam, it's looking like it could be a revolution in Haiti.
Wow.
So do we have some stuff on the streets, fam? Let's, Johnny Tsunami, what do you think? You've been looking at this all day today. You said today we got to get on Haiti because nobody's going on it yet in the news. But yet you saw some of these videos. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, it's some crazy stuff happening over there right now. If y'all want to see this, you see in the Twitter.
Wow.
Here, Haiti Info Project breaking in Port-au-Prince. Look at this protest.
Burning the flag.
Burning the American flag.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they're aware of what's going on. They understand how the Clinton Foundation has screwed them. Putting their puppets in, funneling their money. These people are running off the cops. Now, from what I hear, and I got to get a little bit more information for you, I called Florida. I spoke to my friend back there, and he says that there's progressive groups within Haiti trying to get to the table together, trying to come up with something, because what they're going to anticipate is that the State Department is going to make a move to put another one of their puppets back into play. Man.
Of course they are. Of course they are. I mean, this is what we do, and then we wonder why people are displaced. And actually, Haitians are one of the people that have been unable to get to either Canada or the United States a lot of the time because there's just a huge bias. against Haitians. It's really, really tough. It's actually been one of the bigger stories of them trying to get into Canada and being rejected.
It's a shame too. And I live in South Florida. There's little Haiti down there. I have a lot of Haitian friends. I know about Port-au-Prince. You know, that's what a lot of these progressives are saying, that Port-au-Prince is just a place for the elites of Haiti, and it's the only place and money that goes to everything outside, all the urban areas. They're just left for Shangad. But hopefully we can get some type of revolution. We need to get a serious revolution, but the United States is going to stick their nose in there whenever they can, and they've been trying to control for Haiti for quite some time. It's a beautiful paradise. It's a Caribbean country that is on the same island as the Dominican, but they're the poorest nation of all.
Yeah, exactly. They're two of the poorest nations, but Haiti in particular. And also, if you go to Tijuana, in Mexico, you will find a bustling Haitian community there. They have been taken in by the people in Tijuana. They found a home there, and there's kind of a sort of solidarity between the Haitian people and the people in Tijuana and the migrants coming in. You know why? Because all of them are literally victims of our imperialism and our regime change war. So it's sad, but I think it's definitely a reason why they have this kind of camaraderie.
Yeah, it's to be continued. And my man Johnny Tsunami is going to be out there looking for some more videos because it's raw stuff right now. We're going to be getting them up. We're going to get to Tulsi Gabbard in a second, fam, but can we get to a little commercial? You got anything else to say about this?
Wait, yeah, I got something.
You got, Johnny Tsunami. Look at this. What you got to say?
There's one more video I wanted to show.
Okay, as long as you don't say Jets suck, I'm happy right there.
It's the
stop.
The president right now of Haiti. Who's a
After a
businessman.
week of political crisis and violent protests in Haiti, which have left at least 7 people dead, there'd been no word from the president. With the demonstrations against him showing no sign of ending, Jovenel Moise finally broke his silence, announcing he would not be stepping down.
I have listened to the people. I know what you are being faced with. That's why I have brought in a series of measures. I've asked the Prime Minister to come and explain them and to adopt them quickly so that we can end people's misery immediately. I, Jovenel Moise, head of state, I won't leave the country in the hands of armed gangs and drug traffickers.
The latest protests have been triggered by the country's inflation and skyrocketing prices, and a scandal over development loans made by Venezuela, where billions of dollars are unaccounted for. A court report last month suggested that President Moise had been involved in irregularities. During his election campaign, he promised food on every plate and money in every pocket. As people in Haiti struggle to make ends meet and face inflation that has risen 15% since his election, demands for the president to step down are unlikely to go away.
It's Moises Michel, and it's kind of funny because in 2010, fam, this guy is a savvy businessman who's been he's been exposed. You've been exposed, my man. They're after his ass. Get it.
You've been exposed.
That's right. But in 2010, they even had a more shadier character than this, a singer. And this guy's brother-in-law was one of the head drug dealers in Haiti. And this is the guy they put in, and they were just siphoning money. Just siphon money out of that Petrocaribe fund, taking it all. And now the people know, and that's why you'll see signs that say Petrocaribe. They understand what's going on. They understand how beautiful Hugo Chavez was. And this is the type of government we're trying to remove over in Venezuela. Maduro, a bus driver, the people's man, right? Spawned from Hugo Chavez, who gave back to the Caribbeans. They didn't have to do this. Hugo Chavez chose to do this. This is a beautiful leader. Remember when he gave fucking oil and gas to people in New York who were freezing, poor people who couldn't afford it? This is disgusting, fam.
But they will vilify him. And if you talk to a lot of people here in the United States who are of Venezuelan descent, they will tell you they didn't like Hugo Chavez because Hugo Chavez was specifically a man that was poor, just like Maduro, that came into power. So what we are seeing in these, basically in these countries, is actual revolutions from the working people being stomped down by our country, who is literally fighting democratic socialism domestically and internationally. We are fighting the uprising of the working class against the elite, which is what's happening in Venezuela.
Absolutely.
And there are also racial tensions in these countries too. A lot of these people rising up are indigenous or of African descent.
Absolutely.
So
that goes for Venezuela big time because the Guaido a clan or a regime, or we want to talk about it, very light skin, very white, where you see a lot of black people in the streets for Maduro, in Caracas the other day signing that piece of paper. So there is some racial tendencies hidden there as well.